enjoying a burger. Got some onion rings. I'm not going to eat that while I'm talking to you guys. One of the reasons that I can eat like this is because of intermittent fasting. And so I've gotten a lot of questions from you guys about how do I do my intermittent fasting? What are the benefits of it? What's good about it? And why does it work so well? So instead of me explaining it myself, I did you one better. And when I was down in New Brunswick, meeting with some of my favorite fitness friends, professionals, they're just friends now because, you know, we all get along and we all just happen to run fitness businesses. I met with my buddy Brad Pilon, and it was great because I've known Brad since 2007. He's one of what I consider one of my closer friends now. So I sat Brad down because he is the pioneer when it comes to intermittent fasting, and we sat down and we talked about some of the myths and the differences between some of the types of intermittent fasting out there. So this is part one of the interview. I hope you enjoy it, and then I'll come back with part two afterwards. But for now, I'm going to enjoy my burger. I'll see you at the end of the video. Hey guys, Chris Lopez here, out in beautiful Tracadie, New Brunswick. I just spent the weekend here with the family and some of my fitness friends and their families as well. It was a great weekend, and now I am sitting beside, you may not know this guy.
Probably not.
I think you do. Brad Pilon.
Hey.
Eat, stop, eat.
Looking a little tired and disheveled, but I'm up and I'm moving. It's a bit early.
This is actually the best I've seen him look in a long time.
I don't look too well.
So, the backstory, I don't know if you know the story of how I met Brad. We met back in 2007.
Yeah.
And the reason why I was intrigued by Brad was because we were at a fitness conference and we were having lunch, and before we got served lunch, and he was known as the nutrition guy.
Kind of. Yeah.
He was he did a beeline for the dessert table before we even had lunch.
I was taking inventory, to tell the truth. I wasn't eating the beeline. I was just making sure I knew it was there.
Yeah, well, anyway, after that, after lunch, he ended up with a piece of cheesecake and a piece of chocolate cake and I think a couple of butter tarts.
The cheesecake was like a ricotta cheesecake, so I really had to try it. It wasn't glutton as much as it was self-experimentation.
Anyway, so he's like one of the leanest guys I know, and so when I saw him do that, because when you're at a fitness conference, everybody kind of judges you on what you're eating.
Yes, they do.
They do. And yeah. Brad was, I don't really care, so I'm going to go get 3 desserts and 2 butter tarts and go to town. So so after that, I said to myself, you know what, I need to talk to this guy because he looks pretty good and he's out there eating dessert and not really caring.
And I avoided him for like 3 days, and he finally got me in an elevator, and then we had to talk.
Yeah. So long story short, back in 2007, I think it was November, he sent me his book, Eat, Stop, Eat.
Yep.
And I read that very first version.
72 pages. Massive double space, massive print.
And he's been sending me the updated versions every year since.
220 pages now, it's much smaller print.
Right. Yeah. So I wanted to talk to you about, well, this intermittent fasting has become pretty mainstream now.
Giant. It's a big diet fad. I mean, let's call it for what it is right now. It's a fad, and what you have is a lot of people trying it out for good reasons, bad reasons, and for absolutely no reason. But yeah, it's big.
Okay, and so you're a big proponent of the 24-hour fast.
Always been. 24 was what I came to with my research was that 24 was just not only the easiest time, but it allowed for the most time spent during the week eating normally. And that's like how I wanted people to have. I wanted you to do normal eating with the fasting being a pattern interrupt, right? So it wasn't like fasting was your daily ritual, but it also wasn't like some sort of punishment. I didn't want you to fast for 48 or 72 hours right in the beginning of the week and then recover for the rest of the week. That would just be too harsh, right? So small pattern interrupts that the vast majority of people could do and successfully use to cut their calories, while on the other days eating at or even slightly above maintenance, right? And still enjoying food, like I do.
Nice. Okay, so one of the other more popular fasting type of diets out there is the 16-8 fast.
Right. The 16-8 is a very interesting concept. You fast every day.
Right.
And what you essentially are doing is prolonging the nighttime fast. So everybody fasts. We all fast. We do it when we sleep. Except for, just the most extreme bodybuilders who get up every couple hours and eat at night because they're crazy.
Right.
But for the vast majority of us, we fast at night. The 16-8, the general concept was to expand that fast. There's various renditions of it, right? And usually they revolve simply around expanding it into the next morning.
Yep.
Some of them don't. Some of them you cut out early, like a 6 p.m. end, and you can still have breakfast every single day. So very manageable that way, but very highly regimented. In some of the programs, you train right after your fast is over, and then you eat after that, and then that way it's sort of like you're optimizing that post-workout meal window type thing. Other ones not so much, but it's the type of fasting that suits a very regimented person, a person who wants to be, I guess, dieting and thinking about food every single day.
Yeah.
That's not me. I don't want to think about dieting. I want to kind of get it done with and then go on with the rest of my week. So I gravitate away from that because I don't like regimen. I like flexibility. Like you, I have two kids who are 6 and 4, so you gotta be flexible with that.
Totally.
And that's what it was designed for people. They have jobs. They don't work in a gym. They're not 21 and in school, although they could use it if they are. But I just want it to be able to fit for everybody, right? So you've got a style of eating that fits the female fitness competitor getting ready for a show and her mom and dad, that sort of thing. So that's the sort of the difference, is the amount of regimentation going on.
So I hope you enjoyed part 1. I'm not going to eat with my mouth full. That was very rude of me at the beginning of the video. But I want you to stay tuned for part 2, because in part 2, Brad's going to dispel some myths. I'm going to rapid fire some questions at him, ask him whether or not you can build muscle if you're on an intermittent fasting regimen, whether or not you will experience any type of low blood sugar if you're on intermittent fasting, and can you lose fat, build muscle, how much energy are you going to have, a bunch of stuff, lots of questions. So stay tuned for part 2, and I'll see you in the next video.